Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Paul Reed and I'm a professional photographer. So I'm shooting this video today with the Q3 Monochrome with a mic hooked up, and also I can actually see on here what's going on. I really should have that up there somewhere, shouldn't I? But just so you know, you can do that with the Q3 Monochrome. I mean, this might be completely out of focus and you can hear nothing, but we'll find out later. The real reason why I'm shooting with this today and shooting in monochrome is because I want to talk about monochrome versus color sensors. Right, let's have it. You can produce excellent black and white images from a color sensor camera, and you can produce excellent images from a monochrome only sensor camera. That's a fact. It's not about the camera, it's about the photographer. So let's get that out the way straight away. When I first started shooting with monochrome only sensors, it would have been about 5 years ago, and it was like 90% state of mind and 10% better image quality. It's not all about the fact that you're getting this high ISO, great capability. It's not all about the shadow detail, the tonality, and the sharpness, the detail, all of that sort of thing. It's not all about that. And some people just don't get it. They don't get, why on earth would you do that? You're losing all that ability with, the color channels whenever you're doing your edits. Who would shoot with a monochrome only camera? Well, for me, whenever I was at my best as a photographer was whenever I was younger and I was shooting film, and I would put a black and white film into that camera and I would know that that's what I'm shooting. I'm shooting monochrome. And then afterwards, you couldn't just suddenly decide afterwards, oh, actually, maybe I want it in color. I don't know. And get to this point, it was this real creative choice to either shoot in monochrome or not to shoot in monochrome. And that is the real strength of a monochrome only camera. Now, you might say, well, why don't you just go back and shoot film then? Well, because I don't want to, because I haven't got time to develop and print those photos the way that I used to when I was younger. I dabble in film now and again now, and I love it and I love the experience of it. But a lot of the time, I really do want the convenience of digital, but I still want that mindset where I'm shooting monochrome, I'm committed. Are the files amazing that come from a Q3 monochrome, a Q2 monochrome, an M10 monochrome, an M11 monochrome? Yeah, they are. They're absolutely outstanding. The detail is incredible. But a lot of times I'm shooting portraits, and the last thing I want is too much detail, because that can be extremely unflattering at times. So that's not the main reason to shoot monochrome. If you're shooting kind of, I don't know, say landscapes, urban landscapes, something where you need a lot of detail, then a monochrome sensor is really going to be great for you, because you are going to get an incredible amount of detail. It's more like medium format detail than it is about full frame. But I'm not really talking about the benefits, the technical benefits of a monochrome sensor camera today. I just don't feel ready to start solely shooting with color sensor cameras. I still need that monochrome only camera when I go out there. Look, at some point I might be able to just go out with a color sensor camera, flip it into monochrome JPEG, and then just see it as monochrome, and then resist the temptation to start guessing whether I should do it in color or black and white. That's my biggest problem. And look, that's my mind, and this is why a monochrome only camera, it's not for everybody. It isn't needed for everybody. But for me, my photography went leaps and leaps and leaps forward as soon as I started to shoot with a monochrome only camera. But, and this is a big but, yes, you can get very, very similar images from a color camera that you can with a monochrome camera, especially, after the edit. What I learned whilst using a monochrome only camera for 5 years was how to get the black and white images that I really wanted. When I used to shoot with a color sensor camera, you know, all those profiles and things that were there, you know, they kind of led me to have my monochrome images not the way that I wanted them. But because the monochrome files are so flat, it's like, oh man, people that look at them are just like, I can't believe it, this is just terrible. Because you are the person that makes that black and white image what you want it to be afterwards. So you've got this really flat file with all this dynamic range in it. You can make that exactly what you want. And those 5 years that I spent editing all those photos over that period of time, I got this style of black and white photography that I really loved. So again, without that, I probably wouldn't be producing the images that I am today. I'm going to show you some photographs, and you know, there's going to be people out there, you know, that say they can definitely tell the difference between an image from a color sensor camera to a black and white sensor camera to a monochrome sensor camera. I find it quite difficult to tell the difference if they're edited correctly. That's me being totally honest, that my eye can't really tell the difference at times. After I've edited the images, sometimes I look and I think, did I take that with that camera, or did I take it with the Q2 monochrome or the Q3 monochrome? I can't tell the difference at times. So we're going to play a little game here, and I'm going to show you some portraits that were taken in very similar light, the same subject, and see if you know which one is the color sensor camera and which one is the monochrome sensor camera. Okay, and I'm going to do it one more time. Here's another portrait. One is with a monochrome sensor camera and one is with a color sensor camera. Go. I'm going to tell you shortly which is which, but what I want you to do is be completely honest. No matter, you know, which way you lean, whether you lean towards that you think monochrome sensor cameras, you know, that's something much more special than a color sensor, or the other way. I want you to be completely honest with yourself, and if you get it wrong, tell me in the comments if you get it wrong. Tell me if you get it right. But for me, there's very little difference in those images, and you know, one photograph might be better than the other, but that's not about the sensor, that's not about the camera, that's just about maybe like a slightly different pose, or maybe, you know, you've angled it differently, something like that. So to me, both of those images, or all of those images, as far as kind of quality is concerned and all the rest of it, they're all as good as each other. At least they are to me. I'm just so pleased that I can, you know, get this consistent look, so that, you know, I could shoot with a color camera if I wanted to, and sometimes I do, because I've only got a fixed 28mm lens on this camera. So sometimes I do want to use a 50, or I do want to use a 35, something like that. So I have that ability to go and, you know, use the Leica M240 for a bit. And you know, that kind of just scratches that itch sometimes of having a different focal length. So I'm glad that I can consistently edit the photographs so that they'll look the same. But it's the color sensor images that I've tried as much as possible to make look like the ones that I get from the monochrome camera, because that is where I got to. The way that I edit the monochrome images was where I got to, and that's my favorite way of, you know, my photographs to look. If you do get something like the Q2 monochrome or the Q3 monochrome, my advice is get them to the look that you want them to be, and make a preset so that every time you're getting this consistent look along the way. And if you're also shooting with a color camera, then try to get that to look the same as the monochrome and make a preset for that as well, because that's what I've done. Those presets, if you don't want to make your own presets, I have got presets for sale, a preset pack. I'm really not trying to kind of sell this, because you can make presets yourself. But if you just kind of, you think, oh, I don't know where to begin, then I have got some presets, and I'll put that preset pack in the description. So which photograph was from the color sensor and which was the monochrome sensor? Well, on the first one, photo A was the monochrome sensor. And the second portrait, it was photo B, was the monochrome sensor. So I'd be interested to know if you got it right or wrong, and kind of what you think about all this, whether or not, you know, you're doing it for, you know, the look that you can only achieve from a monochrome sensor camera. I know why people shoot with color sensor cameras. I mean, that's obvious, because then you've got the versatility, you've got the use of the color channels. It's us that shoot with monochrome sensor cameras that we kind of question ourselves at times, and people question me all of the time saying, why would you want to do that? Look, I've got my reasons, and the very, very valid reasons, and the main reason is because it just makes me take better photographs, and that's the top and bottom of it. So I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and all of that stuff. If you have not subscribed to this channel, then please subscribe, and don't forget to tell me if you got it right or wrong in the comments or for those photos. And then the other thing as well is it's hard for these videos sometimes to get in front of you. So if you really love the videos that I produce, then don't forget to click on that little bell so that you get the notification whenever I put a video out there. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.